Hello, I'm Omaha Steaks Executive Chef David Rose, and today we're gonna make my sweet soy top sirloin with quinoa fried rice and cauliflower puree. It is a takeout fake-out. Did you make it at home or did you get it delivered? Only you will know. And we will be using the Omaha Steaks top sirloin. So the great thing with this is the top sirloin, it is a very lean cut of meat. So we're gonna cook it to a nice medium rare, and we're gonna infuse some delicious flavors that you'd see and expect in all of your Chinese foods and favorites. We're gonna do a pretty simple, just seasoning on the top sirloin. Salt, a little bit of black pepper, and smoked paprika. I prefer smoked paprika because it adds a really nice smoky note when you season it and sear it on the meat. So on all sides, don't be shy, get it all over. Due to the lean nature of the top sirloin is you want to cook it hot, you want to cook it fast, because if you overcook it, it's going to get tough, it's going to be dry, and we don't want tough and dry meat because that's not appetizing at all. We're gonna infuse some delicious flavor and also impart some tenderness with this particular preparation. So first things first, we're gonna make our sweet soy marinade. So in there you have soy sauce, which adds real nice flavor, but we're gonna opt for a low sodium soy sauce. We're gonna go ahead and add honey. We're gonna add some sambal chili paste, which is an Asian chili paste, which is not really hot. We're using it more so for flavor. We're gonna add some aromatics. We have some garlic, we have some ginger, and we're gonna seal that up, and we're gonna slide our friends in there, get them nice and acquainted, side by side. The marinade, we're gonna put that on the sirloin and put it in the fridge. Let it marinate for about 3 to 4 hours. The acidity from the vinegar and the sugar is gonna break down those tough connective tissues, add delicious flavor, but also tenderize the meat. So it's a win-win. We're gonna reserve half of that, and we're gonna reduce the marinade down and use that as our sauce. Okay, there we go. And then you wanna put this into the fridge for about, 3 to 4 hours minimum to allow those delicious, vibrant, and bright Asian flavors to penetrate deep up inside that sirloin and also add a little bit of flavor. Every good steak deserves a good sauce. So what I want to do essentially, pretty easy, we're just going to reduce down the marinade, and it's going to really create a nice sauce when you're pretty much cooking out and drawing the moisture out of that and just leaving that really intense flavor from the soy, from the sambal, from the honey, from the sesame oil. It's going to really be delicious. So you just pour that into a saucepan, and you want to bring it up to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we want it to simmer. We don't want it to burn because there's sugar in that honey. It gets bitter, so be very careful. Bring it to a boil and then bring it to a simmer. So for the quinoa is delicious. Quinoa is great. It's a great alternative to white rice or brown rice. Less carbs, high in fiber, and it's better for you. But we're not skimping on flavor. So with that said, what I want to do first is I want to bring up some low sodium chicken stock. The chicken stock is going to add so much more flavor than water and just really bump up those flavors in the quinoa. I have my quinoa right here, and into our boiling chicken stock we go. Right there in the boiling chicken stock. By stirring it, you're allowing those granules of the quinoa to come apart and cook individually. But be careful not to overcook it. You don't want it mushy because we're gonna cook it a second time when we take that quinoa and convert it into fried rice. Yes. So as you can see, our pan sauce, our marinade, we're reducing it, come to a boil. Now again, we wanna be very mindful of those sugars and the honey burning. So you wanna reduce that down to a simmer and let that go for about 10 to 12 minutes until it gets that luscious nappe or sauce-like consistency. So our top sirloins have been resting very peacefully, marinating in our sweet soy marinade for the last 3 to 4 hours. And We want to bring them out and let them come up to room temperature. Now, if you don't know what sous vide is, it's much simpler than the fancy word that it is. Essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to seal that bag up, get it nice and vacuum sealed and tight. We're going to put it into a water bath, and we're going to use an immersion circulator cooker. Now, essentially what that's going to do is going to keep the temperature of that water bath steady, tried and true, and keep that temperature cooking that you want for the steak. The great thing about the sous vide is that as long as it stays at that temperature, it will not go past that 120 threshold. So it's really a thing of beauty, and this takes all of the guesswork out of your cook time. And I'm all about ease and efficiency, and I'm pretty sure you are too. So set the timer, 2 hours, and we're good to go. Chinese takeout. No matter what you have, whether it be orange chicken, any type of stir fry or lo mein or noodle or protein, you gotta always have your fried rice. But I did mention this is a healthier take on Chinese takeout, so we're gonna do a quinoa fried rice. So with the fried rice, we're gonna go ahead and have our wok. A wok is a must, or a big pan. Either way, it's gonna be good. First things first, you wanna go ahead and get some eggs, whisk the eggs up, and you get a nice soft scramble in the wok. You take those eggs out, add a little bit of sesame oil, and then from there, we add our aromatics. We have our scallions or green onions, we have our garlic, we have our cooked off asparagus as well, and then we add into there the quinoa, a little bit of sriracha, again for that little bit of heat, just that hint to kind of warm up the throat, a little bit of soy sauce, and then from there we add the egg back in. And once everything comes together and looks happy, we want to finish it off with some brightness and a little bit of herbaceousness. God, I love that word. Herbaceousness from the cilantro right into there like so. And we want that to remain fresh and bright. So a couple more tossed with that cilantro. And that right there is our fried rice. That took all of what? 4 or 5 minutes? And just like that, something I gladly pay top dollar in any Chinese restaurant. But the thing is, you're doing it right from the comfort of your own kitchen. We want to add even a little more of a flavor bomb and also some healthy additives to the dish as well. So a cauliflower puree, what we're going to do, we're going to get some coconut milk, nice and warmed up. We're going to add in some cauliflower. We're going to get that nice and tender and luscious and delicious. We take it off, put it into the food processor, and carefully add that warmed coconut milk into the blender until it's your desired cooking doneness. And then from there, salt, pepper, and that's it. Oh yeah, you see that, guys? Get in here. Velvety, smooth puree. Is it potatoes or cauliflower? Only you'll know. I think we have a winner. Okay. All right, so we have our cauliflower puree, we have our quinoa fried rice. We gotta bring the guest of honor, the VIP, to the table, which is our sweet soy top sirloin. It's at the perfect 120 temperature right now, and the only thing left to do now is sear it. So we have our cast iron pan coming up to temp. We want that searing hot pan because that's gonna create that nice browning and searing on that top sirloin. So while we're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the puree, that luscious cauliflower puree with the coconut milk, which we opted for instead of heavy cream. And you could never tell unless I tell you that's not potatoes. Delicious, look at that consistency. Got everything ready, we got our quinoa. Let me bring our quinoa fried rice over here. Can't forget that. With the asparagus, the onions, the garlic, the sriracha, the soy sauce, the sesame oil, the yum. We have our pan coming up to temp right now. Very, very important again. You want to use a high smoking point oil, so we're going back to our good friend, grapeseed oil. A little bit of that in the pan. And we're also going to butter baste. So I'm gonna have my butter at the ready as well. What I like to do at this point is I like to remove the steaks from the marinade, and you want to get rid of some of that moisture. I want to pat it dry again because the flavor is already in there, I just want to remove some of that excess moisture to give us a fighting chance and the best opportunity to get that nice hard sear on that top sirloin. But you can see it's imparted a lot of that color and a lot of that flavor from that marinade. So I'm just gonna pat that dry. All right, hot, screaming hot cast iron pan. Again, you wanna always lay the meat away from you. 1, 2. Right now, it's at that perfect 120 temperature. It's at a perfect rare or medium rare because the sirloin is so lean, we don't want to go past that. But it's still going to be super tender because of A, the temperature we're cooking it, and B, from that delicious, salty, sweet umami flavor that we had in our sweet soy marinade. There's a method to the madness. Stick with me. So once it starts to brown up and get that nice caramelization, like that, oh yeah, I want to add the butter to the pan. Get it all up in there. Flip it. You want to tilt. And butter baste. And you can see the sugar from the sweet soy marinade kind of lends a little bit as well to that caramelization. So be very careful. You don't want that sugar to burn. You want to get that nice caramelization and brownness on there. And that's what we're looking for. And just baste away a good 30 to 40 seconds until that butter just soaks and penetrates and just wraps and coats that delicious top sirloin. That's what you're looking for right there. You want to take it out of the pan. You want it to rest. You want the muscle to relax. You want those flavors and juices to redistribute. You let that hang out for about good 6 to 8 minutes. And then when it's rested, we'll slice into it and make a beautiful plate with this Chinese takeout fake out. You want to cut these into about, 1/2 inch medallions. And we're looking for a nice rare to medium rare. Ah, that is beautiful. That is the ideal temperature right there for the top sirloin because again, it is such a lean cut of meat. And it also imparts some nice tenderness as well from that marinade. I'm not one to toot my own horn, but toot, toot, perfection, doneness right there. It doesn't get more of a better rare, medium rare than that right there. All right, so let's plate this up. Once we're finished with that, we want to compile our dish. A nice little base layer of our quinoa fried rice, a nice little layer of cauliflower puree, fan that delicious sweet soy sirloin over that rice, and just like that, a Chinese takeout, fake out done in your kitchen. Enjoy.